What's up, everyone? Welcome to the July 26th edition of DraftKings Tournament Plays presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Adam Scherer. You can follow me on Twitter at ShipMyMoneyDFS. And as a reminder, use the code AWESOMO when you sign up and make a deposit at Prize Picks. You'll receive one free month of Stokastic plus Platinum. You'll also receive a 100% deposit bonus up to $100 on that first deposit. We have a 13-game MLB slate tonight. As usual, we're going to take a look at three of the top tournament stacks and three of the top tournament pitchers using the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool on the Stokastic.com website. Starting with the top three stacks. Number three, the Cleveland Guardians are taking on Josh Winkowski tonight in Boston. They're projected for 7% ownership with a 6% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 6% chance of being the top value stack. A lot of that ownership is driven by Jose Ramirez, which is perfectly fine. He's really good. He's one of the best third base plays. But you can get some lower owned players elsewhere in the lineup. Winkowski this year has only struck out 16.3% of hitters with a 4.22 xFIP. The Guardians' active roster has a 103 WRC+, only a 138 ISO, but there are still some power bats here. Ramirez, obviously. Franmil Reyes, Josh Naylor has some power. Ahmed Rosario gives you some power and speed combination. So still a pretty appealing stack to get to. Number two, the Colorado Rockies are taking on Michael Kopech tonight in Colorado. The Rockies are projected for 5% ownership with a 7% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 1% chance of being the top value stack. Kopech has really good stuff, but he hasn't been all that good this season in terms of effectiveness. Only a 21.6% strikeout percentage, 5.04 xFIP, double-digit walk percentage. The Rockies at home this year have a 103 WRC+ with a 179 ISO. And number one, the Chicago White Sox on the other side of that game, taking on German Marquez in Coors Field. The White Sox are projected for 12% ownership with a 12% chance of being the top scoring stack and a 7% chance of being the top value stack. Marquez has struck out 18.8% of hitters with a reasonably good 4.05 xFIP this year, but this is still Coors Field, and the White Sox do have plenty of good hitters in their lineup. Their active roster only has a 95 WRC+ and a 120 ISO this year, but that's a bit misleading because you do have a small sample size from Eloy Jimenez, who's been awful, but has a track record of being a good hitter. And similarly, guys like Tim Anderson, Yohan Moncada, Andrew Vaughn, Jose Abreu, Yasmani Grandal, these guys all have track records of being good major league hitters, or in the case of Vaughn, are expected to be good major league hitters going forward. So I don't totally buy into the struggles the White Sox have had to this point this season. This sets up as a really nice spot for them against Marquez in Coors Field. Now, before we move on to the top three tournament pitchers, we do have a new promo code for viewers of these videos. That promo code is AdamMLB. You can see it at the top of the screen. Use it. You receive 50% off any weekly Stokastic Plus package. This is available for new users only, but if you haven't already signed up for Stokastic Plus, use the promo code. Get yourself 50% off any weekly package. You'll get behind the paywall data such as the top stacks tool and the top pitchers tool that I reference in these videos. So again, if you haven't already, promo code AdamMLB. Get yourself 50% off Stokastic Plus weekly. Now, looking at the top three tournament pitchers, number three, Jose Barrios, $7,900 price tag, taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Barrios has been all over the place this year in terms of effectiveness. He's had some really bad starts mixed in with some good ones. Overall, 21.1% strikeout percentage with a 4.04 xFIP. Based on his career numbers, I do still think that those go up as we move forward. The Cardinals are not typically a team that we want to target, but they're missing Paul Goldschmidt. They're missing Nolan Arenado. Neither player was allowed to travel into Canada, so neither player obviously will be in the lineup tonight. And as a result, the active roster for the Cardinals now has just a 95 WRC+, still a modest 21.7% strikeout percentage. Barrios projected for 11% ownership with a 9% chance of being a top two pitcher and a 9% chance of being a top two value pitcher. Number two, George Kirby, $8,500, taking on the Texas Rangers tonight in Seattle. This is a very favorable pitcher's park for Kirby, and he's been good this year. He's one of the top pitching prospects in baseball, and so far he's struck out 22.6% of hitters. He has about a 3% walk percentage, which is incredibly good, and a 3.44 xFIP. The Rangers' active roster has been above average with a 107 WRC+. They do have a reasonable 22.1% strikeout percentage that Kirby should be able to take advantage of. And again, this is a very favorable park for pitching. Kirby's projected for about 9% ownership with an 11% chance of being a top two scoring pitcher and an 8% chance of being a top two value pitcher. And number one, Spencer Strider, $8,700, taking on the Philadelphia Phillies tonight in Philadelphia. The Phillies are a bit banged up as Bryce Harper is still not in the lineup. Their active roster has a 98 WRC plus and a 22.9% strikeout percentage. Strider leads the slate with a 37.4% strikeout percentage as a starting pitcher this year. 2.43 xFIP is excellent, and he's only $8,700. It's a completely broken price on Strider, given how good he is. He is projected for 31% ownership. He has a 19% chance of being a top 2 scoring pitcher, in addition to a 12% chance of being a top 2 value pitcher. So to recap, the top 3 tournament stacks: number 3, the Cleveland Guardians; number 2, the Colorado Rockies; number 1, the Chicago White Sox; and the top 3 tournament pitchers: number 3, Jose Barrios; number 2, George Kirby; and number 1, Spencer Strider.